Here we come. Okay, let's be started. Good evening and welcome to this special edition of Showtime TV. I'm your host, Omar Rashada. Join me live this Saturday evening. I have the honor and pleasure to interview Dr. Michelle Knights. Good evening, Dr. Knights, and how are you?
Hello, Omar. I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great as well. So we had a beautiful day today. Beautiful day. I think it was like 65 degrees in November.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day.
All right. So for those who may not know you, if you could just give just a brief overview of your educational and employment background and what you do now.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Facebook land. It's good to be here with your audience. And thank you for the great work that you've been doing. I know you're bringing in a number of topics of interest to your audience that really helps them to elevate and focus in on the issues that are important to them. So thank you for having me. My background is quite diverse, but more recently, I've worked as a university professor. And so I have a PhD degree in human development and family studies. And really my emphasis has always been how to bring tools, how to bring information that would help people to transform their lives. So when I worked with students, it was all about helping them to see a bigger vision for their lives and facilitating that for them. And so I left the world of academia, came into the entrepreneurial space. And what I do now is really promote an incredible platform called the 10 Life Values. And out of that, we've done some really great things. I'll talk about that shortly. But it's a great transformational tool that we've been able to share with people all over the world.
Okay. And before we get into that, also, now you were a former professor at Pennsylvania State University. What classes did you teach?
So my area of discipline is human development and family studies. And so the courses I taught were developmental courses. One of the areas of specialty that I had was child development. So I did all the child development courses, adult development, even some adolescent development. I also taught intro to statistics and research methods. And it was really important for students who are in the nursing program, going into some kind of field for human development, who understanding the dynamics of family studies, to have both the theoretical base as well as the research and practical basis. So those were the things I taught.
That is so great. Now I introduced you as Dr. Michelle Knights. You have a PhD and you got it right here in the state of Delaware, right?
Right here in the state of Delaware, yes. Right at the University of Delaware. I got both my master's and PhD at UD.
All right, and just to mention once again, your major was?
Human development and family studies. A lot of people aren't familiar with that area of study. They are quite familiar with psychology, right? So psychology is the sister discipline for what we call HDFS, Human Development and Family Studies. But human development and family studies really is a combination of psychology, sociology, medicine, and several other disciplines. So while psychology, for instance, has its focal point on the individual, how a person develops and grows and all that their capabilities are in life, we look at those components as well, but also how that individual thrives within a family context.
Right. Now you've also, at the very least, I'm not sure if you still do or not, but you did some public speaking. And what were some of the topics that you lectured in?
So often the emphasis would be on encouragement and empowerment. And now my focus has been about courage. And I'll talk a little bit about that platform that we're developing around courage. You know, I like to look at my life and the lives of so many people I come into contact with, and everybody has a story. And their story really is their life's journey. So as you're journeying through this incredible experience we call life, there are many lessons that we learn along the way. And those are not just for us. I believe they are for everyone who can benefit from them. But if we keep them to ourselves, then no one really gains the benefit of our experiences. So I spoke a lot on these issues and just really encouraging people to elevate in life, to engage in change, not being stuck in the place that you were in 10 years ago that you're in right now. And so that brings me back to the work that I'm doing now that I speak on, which is the 10 Life Values created by Dr. Holman. That work really helps to offer people the tools and the processes so that they can transform their lives. They can really change and move forward.
And just to go back on your background, just a little, you're originally from Trinidad.
Yes.
And so when did you decide to come to the U.S.?
Oh, wow. I came to the United States for college way back, a very long time ago, and I left Trinidad and arrived in New York City. So you can imagine that was a major transition.
Yeah.
Talk about culture shock, right?
Oh, definitely.
But it was a pretty incredible experience. It's where I got acclimated to American culture. And from there, I was able to observe different parts of American culture. But yeah, I came as a teenager for college.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's so awesome. That's definitely awesome. Okay, so the A game for men. You and I had talked about this particular product about a year ago. But before we get into that, over the last couple of months, I've interviewed quite a and I'm going to ask you the same question I asked them. What made you want to become an entrepreneur?
Well, having come from the Caribbean, and having that third world experience, and then coming into the United States where everything here is built on the American dream. One thing I knew was that education was the path to success. At least that's what was told to me. Coming in from a third world country, that's, I think, told to most people. The way out of your current circumstances, the way to open the doors for advancement and better opportunities in life is to go after the best education. And so I did that, right? I went all the way up to a PhD. And then along the way, I started to realize that I probably wasn't given the whole story. Education is important, but it was only part of the story. And so I started to realize that business, especially owning your own business, in America is an important component of this success journey. And I come back to the 10 life values because it's so pivotal in everything that I do right now, but I didn't know about it back then. So I continued developing this one part of my life, education. And when I realized that I needed more, I needed to have an entrepreneurial component to my life. This was another incredible journey because I didn't know how to go about doing that. I really didn't know the pathway, the blueprint to success in becoming an entrepreneur. So like so many people who are transitioning from a career into entrepreneurship, it's trial and error, right? It's what someone might have told you or what you conceived to be important or what you should do. And then you experience pitfalls and some successes, great gains and some losses, right? If we're having a really honest conversation. But what drives me in this entrepreneurial space is knowing that the great American dream really is about someone or a group of people coming to a land of opportunity and moving beyond your fears, moving with courage to attain the things that you believe in your heart and soul to be important, creating your own path, not working for someone, which is absolutely fine. But I know that's what was driving my desire into entrepreneurship. And so not knowing exactly what to do, I stumbled quite a bit for a number of years until I was able to find where I am currently. I'll also tell you that my path, my journey to entrepreneurship started a long time ago. It started when I was a little girl living with my grandmother in Tobago, which is the sister island of Trinidad. It's the smaller of the two islands. So it's Trinidad and Tobago. And, you know, I was really taken by my grandmother, who was able to provide after her husband passed away. And she found ways to provide for her family. It was a big family. She had 12 children. And so I saw my grandmother take leftover buckets, little plastic buckets of ice cream or other things that she would have gotten, and she made ice. Because, you know, in a hot tropical country, and then not a lot of people had freezers, or the big freezers. And she saw a problem and found a solution. And she was able to sell ice and make money. And we also had a lot of cows and goats and sheep and a lot of animals. And I saw the entrepreneurial activities there of either selling the animals or selling the meat, or, you know, just really great as a very young girl seeing that. I think it really planted in me the importance of being able to produce something with your hands, produce for your family. And that created a lasting impression on me, that even though I went the academic route, even though I knew that I wanted a career as a professor, there was this part of me that was yearning to be developed, to come out and serve mankind in a different way than in the walls of an institution.
Right now, you mentioned fear. And you were, like I say, you're originally from Trinidad. So, I mean, moving from one state to another in the same country is one thing, but you move into a entirely whole new country. I mean, man, what do you have any fears prior to that? I mean, was you nervous or?
Yeah, you know, I think there was so much expectation and anticipation about coming to the great United States and to New York. And I was here with my family once before. We came on a family vacation. So I was at least familiar with New York, and I had family in New York. So there was some degree of familiarity, but coming for school, coming on my own, leaving my family behind, certainly was a different dynamic. So yes, absolutely, there was some fear, but it's another example of facing your fear and doing it anyhow. What drove that desire to overcome the fear was knowing that I was doing this for my family. So my culture I came from is one in which we're very collectivist in our way of serving and living with our family. And so whatever I did impacted my family. I made my family proud, or I made my family disappointed. And I really wanted to make my family proud. So I was coming for myself and for them. So you do, you know, when you are about something that's bigger than yourself, when you are rallying for others, and you know you're being backed by others, it's easier to face those fears and to overcome. There was a lot of unknown. So when I came to the United States, I wasn't even sure about the educational system, or how higher education, or how to navigate that system. So I had to figure that out fairly quickly. I also had to navigate the immigration system, you know, to be a foreign student and to have those papers and to get into the school system and just really be able to excel at what I did. So knowing that there's community, knowing that there's family and there's purpose, those things really help you to push past the fears that you might, and with those fears really come uncertainty. It's a whole new culture. It was a fast-paced culture that embraced a lot of things that I didn't embrace. There was a lot of, it was the city that never sleeps, right? So there was activity all the time. And there was also feminism. There was also a certain way of thinking. There was also, you know, this individualistic thinking, which is not something that I embraced in my former culture. So there were a number of different pieces of the American society that I had to recognize, decide what was going to fit for me or not, and then overcome those things and push past the uncertainties that were right before me and still stay focused on the goal for which I came.
Did you ever say to yourself on more than one occasion, I want to go back to Trinidad?
You know, there were times when it got difficult. It got difficult financially. As a foreign student, you're not allowed to work. And so you have to cover, you don't get financial aid, right? There's nothing available for students in that way in terms of support. So you're relying on family or you're relying on yourself to find ways around the system to provide. And so there were times when it got difficult, but no, I never really thought about, I want to give up and go back to Trinidad. That was never part of my psyche. I certainly missed the pleasures and the comforts of home and the security of family. I certainly missed the wonderful ocean and the breeze that comes off the ocean and the mango trees and, you know, all of those things that I knew and took for granted probably because they were just kind of a backdrop to my life in my culture. But I stepped into a new experience for a reason. There was purpose behind what I was doing. So no, there was never really any thought of, oh, this is too different or this is too difficult and I want to go back.
Right, great. That's great. Well, you did quite well. You're an entrepreneur, you got a PhD, and I mean, you did an amazing job. So I'm quite sure that your family is very proud of you. The A Game, Product for Men, you and I met, I believe this was a year ago, and we interviewed on that before. So why don't you just give me an update as well as the audience of what is the A Game and how did you go about getting involved with that?
Oh, absolutely. I love, as you know, I love sharing this information and talking about it, primarily because of the impact that it's been making on the lives of men. And so this work is grounded in the 10 life values. And I have to give honor to Dr. Spencer Holman, who's the one who really created this platform, created these principles of the 10 life values. And I start there to talk about A Game because A Game came out of the work that he's done for really over 3 decades working with men. And so in his work, he created the Fatherhood Academy, and his company at the time was called Father's Time. There were a lot of programs for women, not a whole lot for men, and men needed support as well. But it wasn't just support that you might envision in a program that, you know, served some purpose, but, you know, still left men hanging or left a lot of gaps that weren't addressed. He really formulated his thinking about how to approach the work that he was about to embark with men based on his own life and the revelations that he revealed, that were revealed to him. He was one who studied a lot. And so having studied ancient wisdom, and he started pondering upon the origins of man and the origins of civilization and how all of this came together, his connections to God and the research he started to do, and looking at his life and realizing that, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of value around in his community, in the regions that he saw value in, they were starting to disappear. In our Black community particularly, that weighed on him terribly. And so as he got revelations and he got clarity around what he should be doing to elevate his life, he realized that he could offer this to others as well. So these foundational principles I'm talking about that he used is called the 10 life values. And the first is spiritual. And then the second is health. And that health component is where A Game came out of. But let me just mention them all the way through. So spiritual, health, family, appearance, dwelling, mobility, education, profession, leisure, and wealth. And so spiritual and wealth are anchors in the spiritual value. In the 10 life values, there is really something that people can hold on to and see in each of the life values, and that's spiritual. So we see it weaved in and out of all of them. So as he's working with men, thousands, and at this time, currently, he's touched over 1 million men, but in his early days, as he's working with men, he's starting to realize that men understand these principles, they're adapting them in their lives, they're beginning to live lives of excellence in every aspect of their lives. But as he looked into their eyes, whether it was in a church, or it was in the community, or a synagogue, or the mosque, or wherever he ended up presenting this information, he noticed that men needed some support with their health. They needed supplementation. He saw the loneliness in their eyes in terms of not being able to really share these concerns that they're having with others. And so again, like my grandmother, I see that need to provide a solution when there's a problem identified. And so he saw this problem, he saw this gap, and he went to the lab, having been a great student, having studied the healing arts of African cultures, as well as traditional Chinese medicine. And he went to the lab and created the product A Game. So he put together 21 herbs. And these herbs are, the thing about traditional Chinese medicine, which is what fueled this product, and I'll hold the box up here. Our box is redesigned recently for COVID-19, meeting those regulations. But he realized that what men need was increased vitality, increased energy, strength, and libido. These were the things that men were saying to him. So on the one hand, he's teaching these principles and helping men to be all that they can be within themselves and for their families. And you have stronger men, you have stronger families, and then you have stronger communities. And so realizing that creating a product that would help them to have overall physical health that's improved, emotional health, mental health, he thought this would be something that would change their life, and in so doing change the life of the whole community as well. So the 21 words of A Game is what makes the difference.
Okay, let me ask you a quick question. You just mentioned physical health. So there are men who may be diagnosed with cancer or diabetes. So if they take this product, will it help cure those diseases, or is this something else?
Great question. And these are herbs. So herbs, think about it as food. Okay. So you have these different parts of maybe it's a root, maybe it's leaves, bark, or whatever part of the herbs that's being used. So it's food, and we don't make any medical claims. So we, in fact, encourage everyone to speak to your doctor as you decide to take any kind of nutritional supplementation, but especially as we talk about A Game. So what we know is that each of these herbs help with different things, including protecting the body against cells that create abnormalities and create more of those abnormalities, which people experience various diseases from, including cancer. Different things can be manifested when your cells and your organs are affected. I encourage you to go to our website. It's agameherbal.com. And on that website, on the homepage, as well as there's a page dedicated for ingredients, we've listed all 21 ingredients. And we've also shown what each of those ingredients would impact. Some of these herbs would impact the cardiovascular system. Some impact mood. So a lot of men who use A-game will tell me that, Dr. Michelle, I feel a lot more clarity. My mood is elevated. I feel, really positive. I can do a lot of things. And so we know that Dr. Holman formulated A-game to produce these benefits and these results. So in answering your question about cancer or any other disease, I encourage you to look at the ingredients and see what they do naturally. Now, I'll tell you, the power of traditional Chinese medicine is that each of these ingredients by themselves will give you great benefits for your health, but combined synergistically, they work together to give you an even greater result. So we have men who have increased benefits with their hypertension. So they see their high blood pressure decrease. Right. Then we have some men who are suffering from diabetes. We see their A1C levels go down. So we see improvements there, just as a couple examples.
Right. So if someone is taking other medications, that they're prescribed other medications, is it okay to take the supplement with those medications, or should they be taken separately?
Well, with herbs, it's always best to take herbs by themselves. In fact, we tell you that you need to take this on an empty stomach. So no food 1 hour before and no food 1 hour after. And drink lots of water. Water is really important to help push the herbs through your body. So if you're on medication, we tell you, talk with your doctor, make sure that, you get the stamp of approval to take it. A lot of people who take A-game will sometimes say to us, my doctor really doesn't understand herbs or the all natural alternative way to heal your body. And so I tell them, you are an active agent in your healthcare. We all really need, especially during this pandemic, we all really need to understand that we have to take responsibility and accountability for improving our immune system and our overall health and wellness. And this is one avenue to do it. This is a very potent, powerful way to do it. But in terms of if there's a concern about if these herbs will interact or interfere with medication, speak to your doctor. But general rule of thumb, when you're taking herbs, never take it at the same time you're taking your medication, because you want the herbs to have the greatest absorption in your body so you get the greatest results. And so you take them at different times.
Okay, so is it required or is it recommended that you take it 2 times a day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day? What is it? Yeah.
A-game is incredibly powerful, and it's designed to stay in your body for 3 days. So 72 hours once you take one off the capsules, and I'll show you what that looks like. So they're packaged, our monthly supply is packaged in 10 capsules. And so each one would last 3 days in your body. So it's just one every 3 days. Some people tell us that even 4 days or 5 days they can go without taking another one.
And going back to physical health,
yeah.
In America, obesity is a major problem. Obesity.
Yes.
And so if a guy would have came up to you and say, Dr. Knights, I'm trying to lose weight. So can I take this as a replacement for a meal, rather than not eat breakfast or not eat lunch or not eat dinner? Can I take this? And you recommend no food?
Well, what's interesting is that a lot of people who take this A-game supplement, all natural herbal supplement, will tell us that they're not as hungry as they used to be. Okay. It increases your energy and your strength. So naturally you feel like you want to do more. So people who aren't working out, they feel like they have the vigor and the ability to move their bodies more and work out more. We encourage that. People who do work out, they tell us that they're working out longer. The duration and the intensity is more than they've done in the past. And that's because these herbs are designed to produce that result. So while it's not quite the way you're describing or asking the question, it's not designed to replace meals, right? You take it once every 3 days, so it couldn't work in that manner. But having said that, I will say that once you take these herbs and you drink the recommended amount of water, 8 to 10 cups or more per day, really start to pay attention to what you're eating, how you're moving your body, getting blood flow going, right? Because this is what one of the major benefits of A-Game is, that it will help to increase proper blood flow. Okay, but we also have some work to do. Just as we have to drink a lot of water, we also have to move our bodies. And some of the results, and this might be an extra benefit or a benefit of the benefit, is that we see people who are becoming a lot more health conscious. They are losing weight. Their ability to really focus on their health is improved because, again, there's a lot of clarity, there's more strength and vitality in your body from taking the herbs.
Right. So just for clarification, this is definitely for adults, not for children or teenagers.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
And A-Game is designed specifically just for men.
Right.
It's just for men. I've had a lot of women say, you know, this is fantastic. The herbs that's in here, the benefits that men are getting from A-Game. How can we get some of those benefits? I must have that question several times a week. And we tell everyone, just hold tight, just stay tuned, because something will be coming as Dr. Holman continues to formulate products and think about how we can serve women in this capacity. But as we share A-Game, again, at agameherbal.com, it is all for men.
Okay, I want to go back to the health aspect. You touched on a little bit about mental health. You know, with this pandemic going around, people losing jobs, people are facing eviction, they're depressed, they're stressed, they have anxiety. So does A-Game help with the mental health?
One of the things that we know men have shared with us, and it's designed to do, it's not happenstance, is that there are herbs in A-Game that really help to stimulate the happiness hormones, we call them. And so when you're using A-Game, you know, I had one gentleman say to me, and he was in a really challenging place in his life. He lost his business. He wasn't sure about the next direction. Certainly with this pandemic, there's so much uncertainty. And he was feeling really depressed. He really didn't feel like he wanted to really do anything or have the space in his mind to really create a plan. And he said to me, you know, I started taking A-Game, and I started having clarity of thought. I started feeling like I could conquer whatever is in front of me. And that, we know, is from the formulation. There are herbs in here that will help you to do that. So addressing depression is really important. Addressing overall mood changes, that's really important. So we're not saying that we have a prescribed or a solution that's specifically for mental health issues, but we do know that these herbs will help the overall health and wellness. Our mind and body work together. Right. And because there are herbs in here that specifically work to elevate mood and stimulate good hormone production, then we know that it is affecting all of these components of your health.
Right. Now, in addition to the United States, is the A-Game product sold throughout the world?
It is, and we continue to open markets internationally. Mm-hmm. That's actually one of the very exciting parts of our business. And we have seen tremendous growth in our international markets, even during a pandemic. And that's because people recognize the need to improve their immune systems. And people are also looking for ways to have their own business or to create another stream of income. So yes, we are currently we continue to grow. We're in about 130 locations right now, including across the United States and in our international markets. And you can also see that on our website.
Well, now you're obviously a female, and so there are those who watch and say, no, why would a woman want to get involved with promoting a product for men? So, what's the response?
You know, I've gotten that question quite a few times, and this actually is a perfect fit for me as a woman, because I understand, well, from a professional perspective as well as a personal perspective, I understand the importance of providing something that's powerful and potent, safe and effective, and delivers results every time. I can stand behind this product professionally and personally. And while I cannot take it myself, I stay very close to our customers, our consumers, our partners, and I hear those stories that they're sharing. I also understand the importance of supporting men. We live in a culture where men are being torn down, they're not respected, they're not regarded in the capacity in which they ought to be, right? I think you can attest to that. And so embracing the 10 life values. And as a woman, as a Black woman, having the opportunity to speak to many different diverse audiences and talk about a product that can help support our Black men and their health, the most critical part of their lives, so that they can continue to be strong and healthy and live a long life, support their families and their communities. There couldn't be any more important work that I could embark upon. So while I don't have a personal testimony, I have hundreds and thousands of people sharing their stories with me that I then put together with my passion for getting this information out to people so we can continue to impact lives. We're saving lives out here. And whether the messenger is a man or a woman, I think we rally together as a community and we get this message out. And I can share the technical parts. I can share the compassionate human parts. So when a man comes to me and he'll talk to me differently than he'll talk to another man, he might open up and he might say, I've been having this problem for a long time. Right. And I really want to show up better for my wife or for my family. What can you do? How can this help me? The conversation that we have will often move him into taking an action. So I find myself to be in a pretty unique place to serve our community and to serve the men of our community in this capacity.
Now, is there a time frame where a man can take this, can take the A game supplement, like for example, 3 months, 6 months, a year, or is it a lifetime? What's your recommendation?
So people can, again, going back to you being an active agent in your healthcare, you decide how long you want to consume A game. There are people who will be on medication for the rest of their lives, and they take that medication faithfully, realizing that that medication might be helping them and it might not be helping them, but it's something that they know is the solution for them at the moment. And even with the side effects, and we all know the long laundry list of side effects that come along with prescription medication, they're still willing to take it for the rest of their lives. Now, A game is food. It's herbs, it's all natural, and it's not a magic pill, even though some of our customers tell me, no, this is magic in a box, right? But it is something that has to get into your system. You need to keep taking it so that you strengthen your system. See, A game works in this way. These herbs, once they get absorbed into your body, into your bloodstream, they start working on your organs. We cause a lot of damage to our vital organs. Without our vital organs working, we're in trouble. And that trouble, it can be significant and lead to death, right? So if your kidneys are affected and they're failing, and you're on dialysis, you're on a path that's a decline that's not going to support your body. It's detrimental. And so taking a safe and effective herbal product like A-Game will help to repair the damage caused within your body. That damage can happen from lifestyle. It can happen from just the air we breathe, the atmosphere we're in, the food we eat. We walk around with very dehydrated bodies. Many of us don't drink water as we ought to. And so whether it's alcohol or cigarettes or other kinds of drugs, whatever we might have introduced into our bodies, into our temple that caused some damage, it could also be lifestyle, not sleeping properly, not attending to the health issues we have. There's a number of reasons that we see the resultant effect of those being damaged to our organs and our cells, our tissues. And so A-Game comes in, it starts to do some repair work. It's going to nourish those organs that's been deprived, depleted of good nutrition. It's going to protect those organs. So knowing that, I think it's really sound advice to keep A-Game in your system, right? Because it's not something that you take once a month, once or a few months of the year, and then you're fine, you're fixed, you're put together and everything's fine. There are some men who tell us that A-Game has changed their lives so dramatically that they will never be without it in their bodies. They always want to keep it in their bodies. But again, you are the agent. You are the one responsible for your health, and you decide if you take it 1 day, 1 week, 1 year, or forever. And we encourage you to keep it in your body.
So someone's watching right now, and they would say, Dr. Knight, you know what? I think I want to be a sales agent. I want to sell the A-Game. In your line of business, can there be those who may be interested in wanting to sell a product? What's the process?
So they'd reach out to me. I do the work of business development for our company. So as they reach out to me, I talk with them about the process, what's involved. And we're always looking for partners, people who, first of all, can see the vision of what we're about. We're not just selling a product that's a pill or a capsule. It is so much bigger than this. But once you get that vision, then A-Game becomes very, very laser focused in what you're doing, because the realization that you're impacting and saving lives is very easy to see. And to join us on that journey is something I get to do every day, talking to people and bringing them on. So people can reach out to me. And I can give you my contact information to share with your audience, and I'll walk them through. It's very simple. There are a number of different ways you can become a partner with us, either distribute with our brand A-Game or create your own brand. And those are conversations that I'd love to have with anyone who's listening right now.
Okay. Now, for those who would like to purchase it, if I can ask, what is the price, and then how can one go about ordering it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So a week supply is 2 capsules. It's just about a week because it's 3 days for each capsule, 3 to 4 days, right? And so on our website, you will see that. Our website, again, I mentioned a couple of times, but it's A-Game Herbal. So that's A-G-A-M-E, just as it sounds, A-Game Herbal, HERBAL.com. And you'll see our 1 week supply there. You can go and purchase that. We fulfill our orders very quickly, so you'll have it. You wouldn't have to wait long at all. And we send all our product out on priority mail. So we try to get it to you as quickly as possible. And we actually absorb that cost for priority mail. So you don't have to think about that in your purchasing decision, right? And so that's the 1 week supply. But really the vast majority, well over, I'd say about 98% of our customers and our partners, they buy this monthly supply, this box I'm holding up here. And that is $125. It's really on our website for $124.95. And that's your cost for the monthly supply. We are running a special with Black Friday coming up. We're moving into Thanksgiving. And this season, And so for your customers and anybody at this time, we're offering you a discount code. The coupon is welcome. And so you'll get a $25 off coupon there. So it's $100. That's a really easy purchasing decision for your health, knowing that you're getting a high quality product and it's really gonna bring some solutions that people are looking for. So that's the price point. And you find that on our website also.
Okay, and you also involved with another project. I believe it's Black Star University, if I stand correct.
Yes, so Black Star University. So I mentioned a little bit earlier about Father's Time, right? Yeah. So Dr. Holman's work, his company is called Father's Time. Well, he's served well over 1 million men, as I mentioned, and now his work has expanded. And I'm blessed and fortunate to be part of that expansion where now we serve women and youth. And as a result, it couldn't be Father's Time anymore because now we're serving everyone. So his work has evolved into Black Star University. And you can take a look at what's happening as this work continues to unfold. It's blackstaruniversity.com. And there you'll see all the programs. Certainly the Fatherhood Academy is that signature program that has existed for over 3 decades. It continues to exist. People can reach out to us to participate in that as well. And the work of Black Star University is based on the 10 life values. Actually, all of the work is based on the 10 life values. Here is Dr. Holman and a book. He's in this book, a partnership with Les Brown. The foreword by Les Brown. I see you light up. You must have done some work with him or have high regard for him.
He's an awesome motivated speaker. Awesome.
Absolutely. And this is called The Change: Insights into Self-Empowerment. And so he did this work with Jim Britt and Jim Lutz. They're also transformational people, motivational speakers as well, like Les Brown is. And so in here, Dr. Holman provides an introduction to the 10 life values. Very concise, very simple, so people can understand it. I reference this now in the book if anybody wants to get a copy of it. Also, when you reach out to me, I'd be happy to get a copy to you. And it gives you more context to understand this work. But the Black Star University is built on the 10 life values, which is described in a chapter. They are all co-authors with different chapters in this book.
Now are these courses that's online courses that he teaches, or how does it go about working?
So the Fatherhood Academy and what's coming is the Motherhood Academy, that piece I'll be working on real shortly here. Those are designed as in-person training with a facilitator, and there are some great discussions and dynamics that happens in those academies. Certainly now we're moving a lot of those pieces online, and well, the Motherhood Academy particularly will have a strong online presence. That's coming, so stay tuned.
Okay. And you mentioned earlier the 10 values, 10 life values. Now, if I stand corrected, I believe one of the values was appearance.
Appearance, yes.
Yeah. Could you elaborate on that when he means appearance? Is that, loving ourselves, loving our features, loving our bodies? What exactly is that?
You're hitting the nail on the head. Absolutely. It includes all of those things, but appearance also includes how you show up in the world. The vast majority of communication is nonverbal communication. It's the things that people glean from us, from our gestures and our response non-verbally to things around us. But even more than that is that first impression, right? It takes a fraction of a second for people to determine who you are just by how you look, what clothes you wear, how your hair is done, how you show up in the world with your physical appearance tells a lot about who you are. It tells people about your value, what you value. It also tells people how you should be valued. You and I, we tell people how to treat us just by our appearance value. So if I came on today and my hair was in a scarf, or, you know, I was not well put together, I was in pajamas, I was not ready to have this conversation with you, my appearance, my gestures, my tone, even my attitude, that's part of appearance value, will tell the world who I am. Much more than what I say, right? And based on what I tell the world, what I value and who I am, that's how they're going to treat me.
Right, and that's definitely true. I want to go back to when you got your PhD. What was it like when you walked across that stage to receive that degree? Because PhD, you know, here is more or less the higher level of education after a master's degree. Man, and some people take about 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Some people take 3 years to get that doctoral degree. I mean, what was going through your mind when you walked that stage?
Wow, it was truly a lot of gratitude. It was realizing that our life journey might not go as we originally envisioned, because my culminating my educational experience was not envisioned to be a PhD. It was, I was going the medical route. And so while I had a different path as a result of some decisions I made, that took me off the path. And that often happens. We make decisions that can either get us closer to our goals or further away from them. And so I made a major life decision that took me off my path. It really took me off the calling I believe God had for me. And I had to live with those consequences. But therein lies the courage to continue, which is part of the platform, the work that I'll be doing to help women on their journey. And it's also completely built on the 10 life values. So I decided after I got divorced that I was going to continue my education. And that's when I went to University of Delaware. At this point, I had 3 children and a full-time job, and decided to go back to graduate school. But I had the determination, and I also had the strength and support that I got from God and from family. And so it's really important to realize that when you're journeying through life and you've arrived at your destination, you know, you've achieved that goal, in your celebration, in your, wow, I did it, I'm done. It is not just about me or you doing a certain thing. It's about realizing that, you know, God took you through to this place, or family or friends or whatever your support system is. So for me, walking across that stage represented everything I just told you. It also represented leaving one phase of my life and entering into a new phase. But walking across that stage did not define me. I was just having a PhD did not define me as a woman, as a human being. It was another accomplishment I can add to my list of accomplishments, but it wasn't the thing that made me or didn't make me. So I walked across that stage with great gratitude for all who were there for me as I did this. And knowing that now I have even greater responsibility to use these gifts and talents and accomplishments to inspire and motivate and help others on their way as well.
And your daughters are also college students as well, right?
They are. One daughter is finishing up her BSN RN degree. She'll be finished next spring, and another one is in medical school.
Wow, that is awesome. That is definitely awesome. Now, as a woman, I'm quite sure that you're a role model for so many other women with your education, your talent, your skills, your abilities. Are there any women out there that you come to admire?
Wow. I think we had a conversation around this before. There's a woman that I draw a lot of strength from. She's a biblical character, Queen Esther. I really realized that she saw the bigger picture of her responsibility to her community, and moved well beyond her own capabilities, what she thought she was able to do. She was very tuned in. She had leadership. She had the leadership of her uncle and followed that leadership very well. And she was able to put herself in front of the king. That's not something that happened all the time. And even when she did that, she went with a really major request, one that could have easily got her killed. But she had courage and she had determination and faith in the leadership that guided her. And so as a result of all of that, she was able to make an incredible way for her people to be saved. I draw a lot of strength from her story. It's very inspiring to me, because there aren't a lot of people, women, who think in this very traditional way. There are some, and it's great to find them and rally with them and work with them. So I think the work that we are doing will allow those women to continue to show up, and together we can do great things in the world.
You know, and that 10 life value system, man, you can take that across the world.
Absolutely. That's the plan. That's the plan, Omar. That's the plan, to take it across the world.
Right. Okay, Dr. Knight. So we have just a couple minutes remaining. Need a couple minutes to have any closing comments. And once again, if someone wants to buy the A game, how can they get in contact with you, or just give that website one more time? So any closing comments that you have?
Yeah, I really appreciate the time with you today. Haven't met you, haven't done a conversation, haven't had a conversation with you before in an interview, and knowing that you thought it would be worthwhile for us to meet again and share some more information, I want to extend thanks to you for seeing the value of our work as well as the value for our product. I want to encourage you to do all that you're doing. I know now that you've pivoted onto Facebook Live, and no longer are you meeting in person to do your recordings. You are also very determined to create opportunities for improvement in our community. You never gave up. I remember when you were still trying to figure out this whole Zoom platform, right, and you did it. And here you are. I know that you've interviewed a lot of men recently. You're having conversations with Black men. And so I thought this was very much in alignment to come back on and share, because your audience is interested in some of the things that we've talked about. And so you are continuing to find ways and find solutions to the problems that's out there. So be encouraged, continue the great work that you're doing. I'm happy to support that work, as we continue to dialogue and have conversations about what you're doing. To your audience, I just want to encourage everyone to look forward with great hope and optimism. This year has been a tough one for many. This year has resulted in many loved ones being lost, and people losing jobs, people losing hope. And I think as we are coming very close to Thanksgiving, it offers us an opportunity to reflect, to just step back for a moment and say, we're still here. And we're still standing. And once we're standing, we have an opportunity to excel, to move forward to a better place. Each day can get us to a better place in life if we have the mentorship, if we have the tools and resources. And we're happy to be part of that solution for people. So don't feel alone and isolated, reach out to Omar, reach out to us. You know, we work together. We're happy to see how we can support and rally together. It's going to take all of us together to get through these unprecedented days in this pandemic. So I just wanted to leave your audience with that word of encouragement. Also leave you with the thought of how important it is to care for your bodies and your health. You have the power to take care of your health and yourself. Exercise that power. And if you're not sure what to do, reach out. We can help you to think about some of the things you can do. But if you do nothing else, I encourage you men in your audience to take A-Game. So where you find it is at our website, agameherbal.com. People can also text me or call me. I'm happy to give my number out. It's 302-897-9690. And I can help facilitate getting the product to you. Some people need help ordering online. Do not hesitate to call me.
Okay, so on that note, I just thank you once again, Dr. Nice, for coming on. I'm quite sure you'll probably be on again so sometime in the future. So I'd like to thank the audience for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, until next time, I'll be on back here tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'll be interviewing. The topic of discussion will be being a performer. I'm going to have some actors, some spoken word artists, and some actresses and singers. They're going to come on and talk about the arts. All right. All right, Dr. Nice.
Exciting.
Okay, so thanks once again, and I'm definitely going to stay in touch.
Awesome. We absolutely will. Take care, Omar.
Take care.
Okay, bye now.